we're loved and wanted when you show up, as opposed to an empty room. So anyway, we're grateful to have you here. We'll begin by having an invocation by Councilmember Snelson and a pledge by Councilmember Millsap.
Our Father in heaven, we're thankful for the opportunity we have to meet together tonight as a community. We're thankful for the city that we live in. We're thankful for the people that guide the direction of the city, and for all of our city staff that does such a great job in providing the needs of our residents. We ask for thy Spirit to be with us here tonight in this meeting, that we can be guided by thy Spirit in our conversations, and that we can make the decisions that are required for the benefit of the city. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I invite you to join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just as a side note, have you ever found out where the Pledge of Allegiance came from? Google it. It's quite an interesting story. So anyway, I did that recently, and it's quite a little story. So, okay, I need a motion for approval of this meeting's agenda.
We'll make a motion to approve the meeting's agenda as written.
I will second that.
Okay, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, very good. We'd like to welcome anybody who's here, who are youth, who are here maybe from a scout troop or students or whatever. We appreciate you being here. We hope that you have a good experience. If you would like to, we always invite those who are here as students or scouts. If you'd like to come up and sit on the rostrum with us, you're welcome to do that. It's a little bit, your point of view is very, very different. So, but we'd certainly welcome you here if you'd like to come sit up on the stand with us. So, would you like to do that, youth? No? Very nervous. They're slouched down their chair. Yep, that's right. Okay.
Is there candy up here, Mayor?
Yeah, there's still candy up here, so you can always have candy.
We need to re-up the candy.
We need to, yeah. Okay, Stacy, we'd like to turn the time over to you for Art City Days dignitaries.
We're excited tonight to present to you our dignitaries for Art City Days. And we wanted to begin with our Grand Marshals, Wilford and Natalie Clyde. Thank you so much. And I'm very honored to be able to present
You want to stand this way or that way, Mayor?
Whichever way you want to go. There's more that way, I can tell you that.
Yeah, we're ready. Great.
Down here.
It's a great honor to present Wilford and Natalie as our Grand Marshals, and wanted to tell you a little bit about them. And of course, they don't need a lot of introduction because they are such wonderful forces and presence in our community. But they were both born in Utah. Wilford was born right here in Springville, and he is a proud and mighty Red Devil. Natalie was born in Salt Lake Valley and went to Bingham High School and graduated there. However, she met Wilford, and they got married, and he brought her to Springville. So she is definitely a Springvilleite. How many years have you two been married? 49 years.
18 years in West Jordan, 49 years in Springville.
I think she's definitely a Springvilleite. And so they met at BYU. And like I said, Wilford brought her home to Springville. And Wilford graduated from BYU in the field of accounting in 1977. And he has worked in his family business at first Geneva Rock and then ultimately Clyde Companies. And retired after 45 years in 2023. However, he still remains the chairman of the board of Clyde Companies. And Natalie, she has been involved with many things. She graduated in 1987 with 3 daughters in tow. That makes it extra hard from BYU. And both of them are proud Cougars as well and spend a lot of their time at BYU events, especially sporting events. mostly sporting events. That's what they spend most of their time doing, whether it is watching grandkids or BYU. Wilford, as you know, is our past Springville mayor, and he was also a city council member. He has been a member of various organizations, such as Springville City Girls Softball, and he did say that was his favorite, right? The Utah Valley, the Utah Valley Chamber of Commerce, the Utah Associated General Contractors, the Utah Board of Higher Education, and the Springville Museum of Art, among many other assignments. And he has also served as the president of the Salt Lake Chamber and the Cougar Club. He still loves to be involved in business and the community, and he keeps saying that he's going to cut back. However, there hasn't been a lot of cut back. He loves people, and he is looking forward to more golf and watching a lot more of his grandkids in ball games, matches, meets, and recitals. Natalie has also been very active in the community, and particularly with youth activities. She's been involved with the Springville Museum of Art, the Children's Arts Festival, Miss Springville, the Springville Youth City Council, and the Springville High School Booster Club. She's also worked diligently on the Nebo Education Foundation, raising money for our kids in the Nebo School District. She also is looking forward to retirement. I don't think they're ever going to retire. They are so they have done so much for our community. They are the parents of 4 beautiful daughters, and they have 4 wonderful son-in-laws, and I think their pride and joy are their grandchildren, and they have 19 of those. And they mentioned that they are amazing, talented, polite, pretty good looking, and intensely active grandchildren. And so they are very grateful for the wonderful city of Springville, but we are very grateful to have you in our community and for all that you've done for us. Thank you very much.
Will?
I'll just say a couple of things. Thank you very much for this honor. I rode in the parade for 8 years. I thought that was enough. And the class of 1971, which you're a member, we're going to be in the parade this year, so I might be going through the parade twice, unfortunately, but it's really an honor. I love Springville. I remember when Chief Clinton was hired. I was the mayor, and just a lot of really great people in this city. Natalie and I have been on a trip out of town for a few weeks, and we drove back in yesterday early morning after doing the red eye, and I just said, man, I'm so grateful that I live in this community. It's a great place to live. Thank you. And if you want to know what's going on in 4 South and Main, I don't know.
May I simply, while Emily's getting ready, I've known Wilford and Natalie for really most of my life. And if you've never rubbed shoulders with truly royalty, you need to rub shoulders with those two. I mean, they're the pinnacle of integrity. And if all things were known, the good that they've done, you would all be shocked, because they go about doing things very quietly and behind the scenes. You see a lot, but there's an awful lot, like an iceberg. There's a lot going on that they are not credited for, but they do an awful lot for people, places, businesses, and they're very loyal to not only Springville, but just good people. So we appreciate them and their example to all of us, the integrity they have for Springville. And yeah, you probably do know what's going on 4 South in Maine. Okay, you don't.
Sorry, we have to leave, Mayor. We're at a wedding reception of our niece.
It's all good. It's all good. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, Emily.
Well, and I get the exciting honor of introducing our resident artists, who this year are Alma and Mike Loveland. Do you guys want to come up? And Alma and Mike, I know, it's hard to know. It's hard to know. You can turn around. You can keep just like switching however you feel, yes. So Alma and Mike Loveland are your very favorite, which is the name of their business, and they are also your very favorite. And while this might feel like two phrases without much distinction, if you're on their nationwide waitlist or you are their neighbor and friend, you know there's a definite difference. The Loveland story starts in Springville. Mike grew up dreaming of illustrating children's books one day. He chose Utah's Art City as the perfect place to buy a home and plant his artistic roots. Alma, a graphic designer and writer, made her way from Canada to Utah for school. It was there she met Mike, and together they became partners in life, business, and in art. For years, the two worked in various endeavors. Mike dialed in his distinct style of whimsical yet grounded illustration, while Alma took on writing, editing, and graphic design work. When the pandemic hit and the couple found themselves at home with their 3 kids, they took a moment to pause and ask themselves, what if we tried something new? What could we do better than anyone else if we combined our skill sets? The answer, their fascination with science trivia, historical lore, quirky facts about literally anything, and I can attest, it's literally anything. And now I shouldn't make jokes because I know this is my place. And a clever sense of humor, plus the urgent need to entertain kids who are suddenly home, was the perfect recipe for educational activity books. This is how they launched their business, your very favorite, a company that creates illustration-packed activity books for public outreach, education, and community engagement that are made for kids and grown-ups alike. Alma and Mike have achieved the dream of most artists to make a valuable difference in the world through their art. Their educational materials gain traction here in Utah, where they've had the privilege of working with the American Fork Library, the City of Orem, and the Springville Museum of Art. If you drop off your trash at the transfer station in Spanish Fork, you can even ask for a free copy of their Trash Talk activity book to learn how trash and recycling work in our community. Thanks to the support they received here at home, their books are in demand by organizations all across the country. They cover topics like public health, disability, air quality, recycling, literacy, and more. So yes, Alma and Mike Loveland are your very favorite, and if you take a moment to enjoy their work, they just might become your very favorite too. And they are, and I'm not just saying this, they really are some of my very favorite people and artists to work with. If you haven't seen their work, it really is so fun, so whimsical. One of their newest works in progress is actually part of the Art Loops, which is an interactive sidewalk mural on 200 East as part of the youth art walk of the Art Loops. And the first section is pretty much done, right? Yeah. So you can go explore that, and there'll be 2 more sections in the next coming weeks, and they are just the best. So congratulations, Alma and Mike.
We're going to say speech.
I just want to say something. My mom grew up in this city, and she passed away in 2012. So I just wanted to dedicate my award to her. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, and her name was Lynette Riding. For any of you who knew her.
Thank you.
If I could have Riley and Jeff come up and join me, please. Mayor and Council, it's a pleasure to be with you this evening. Tonight, we are honored to recognize a business that has been serving our community for over 100 years. If I did my math right, it's 102 years this year. It's Johnson Tire Service. Founded in 1924 by World War I veteran C. Edwin Johnson, What began as a small workbench in the corner of Phillips Garage in Springville has grown into a fourth-generation family business with nearly $5 million in annual sales. Edwin saw opportunity in the early days of the automobile industry and through hard work, innovation, and vision, built a company that would stand the test of time. From rebuilding generators and batteries in the 1920s to becoming a trusted leader in tire service, tire sales and full automotive service, Johnson Tire has continually adapted as the industry evolved. The business moved to its current Main Street location in 1960. In the 60s, a move some thought was too far out of town, but it proved to be a forward-thinking decision that positioned them for decades of growth. Today, Riley Johnson and his cousin Jeff Jackson proudly carry on the legacy as the fourth generation with many other family members still involved in the business. They continue to provide alignments, brake repair, tune-ups, diagnostics, and of course, tire services. Serving multi-generational families, of which my family is part of that, who have trusted Johnson Tire for decades. Some customers remember getting their very first bicycle tire fixed there. Johnson Tire Service has been more than a successful business. They have been an incredible community partner. As a strong supporter of the Chamber and a generous supporter of the Chamber Golf Scholarship Tournament, they consistently give back to the community that has supported them for over a century. Their story is one of resilience, family legacy, innovation, and deep community roots. Springville has been good to them, and they have certainly been good to Springville. Please join us in congratulating Johnson Tire Service as our Business of the Year.
Some of us have very deep roots with Johnson Tire. My very first job was sorting whites down there. Yeah.
Not a lot of hair up there.
Be careful. Do any of the family?
Oh, there you go.
They say no. They said no. We'll respect that.
Well, if you want to see him, just go down to the store. That's for sure. Congratulations to them. If you haven't been down there, I was just down there, Jeff, 2 days ago. So it's very good. Yep.
Well, I'm excited to be here. This is one of my favorite times of the year. We get to be a part of the selection. There's so many amazing community members out there, and it's fun to be able to get to know them more as we read, as people nominate them, and also as they're chosen for our citizen, business, and other rewards throughout the community. I have the honor of presenting to you David Cook, who is the Springville Citizen of the Year. David was born in 1950 to Vernon O. and Isla Clyde Cook, and spent his early years in Springville before moving to Salt Lake City as a teenager. He attended Grant Elementary, Springville Junior High, and Highland High School. David and his wife, Becky, she wants to come up?
Yeah. Oh, come on up.
You're going to have to get
Sure.
there.
You're going to have to get a picture anyway, so.
Are proud parents of 6 children and enjoy a growing legacy of 25 grandchildren and 9 great-grandchildren. And another one on the way. David earned his degrees in accounting and business administration from BYU, Hawaii, and became a certified public accountant. His professional career included leadership positions as president of Utah Service, vice president, which I heard that Sun Pro, right? That's what it used to be originally? Yeah. See all these fun things we learn. Vice president of Sunrock Corporation and vice president of administrative and corporate communications for Clyde Companies, and he is now retired. Throughout his life, David has demonstrated an extraordinary commitment to community service. His many volunteer hours and civic leadership roles include serving as president of the Springville Volunteer Ambulance Association, treasurer and president of the Springville Museum of Art, financial director of Springville World Folk Fest, and a member and chair of the Springville Art Commission. He's also served as president of the Springville Kiwanis Club, a member of the Springville Planning Committee, and in numerous political and financial oversight capacities. David has dedicated decades to mentoring and serving youth through scouting, including service as a scoutmaster, district chair, and Property Management Chair for the Utah National Parks Council. His devotion to service extends to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, where he has served in many leadership positions, including bishop, stake young men president, and area auditor. He has completed 2 full-time missions and a 3-year service mission with the church auditing department. Both together. Congrats. Of course. And serves as an ordinance worker in the Provo City Center Temple. With you as well? No. Oh. I don't blame you. Despite a lifetime of professional success and community involvement, David considers his greatest blessings to be his family and his faith. He enjoys hiking, genealogy, and family history. In 2016, he achieved a lifelong goal by hiking the Mount Everest Base Camp, training on the mountains he's loved since childhood. David expresses heartfelt gratitude to his wife, Becky, his constant companion and greatest supporter, whose encouragement, sacrifice, and partnership have made his many years of service possible. For his lifetime of leadership, service, and dedication to the Springville community, we're excited to present him as Citizen of the Year.
You know, I was thinking about Johnson Tire, the citizens or the company of the year, and I remember going to Johnson Tire when they were in where the seniors meet now, and looking at their bicycles they sold, and I wanted one so much. My parents finally bought one that I had to share with my oldest brother, who had to use it all the time. But it's been a wonderful community to grow up in, and there's so many friends here that I've known and loved, and excited that they love the community like we do. And I was trying to think, you know, this is the 250 years of our country, year birthday, and the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence are very important. They're not political. That's where we are told, that's where they recognize that God has given us these wonderful freedoms. And I just want to say that I felt free here. I could roam the mountains. I could roam. There's so much this community offers, and the beauty of the Art Museum. I will say that when I was a kid and we had to go to the Art Museum, I just absolutely loved the Paul Revere statue that's now in their sculpture garden. And I remember the teachers looking all over for me because I was still by that statue, trying to just see the horse and the rider and how wonderful that was. And so this community just means everything. So glad to be here and be a part of this. Thank you.
Well, we certainly appreciate everybody being here for this this honor for those that have been honored for the Art City Days business, citizen, and dignitaries that we've had. We've just been really pleased with the people that have been chosen this year. So thank you very much. Okay, we'll move past the ceremonial part of our program, and we'll have our public comment. This is where you can have a chance to be able to speak to the council. And we allocate 3 minutes for you. It's not a dialogue back and forth, so you're welcome to say whatever you'd like to, as long as it's respectful. But just 3 minutes, and I'll give you a signal if you go past a little bit. We've had a few that have done that, but just be respectful of other people's time in your comments to it. So first of all, we'll have Isaac Paxman, who is running for County Commissioner.
Thank you. Yes, this has been inspiring. I feel like a kid who loves his mom and dad in his house and then goes to a neighbor and goes, wow, these are even better. I'm not from Springville, but that was just inspiring. And I have known Wilfred Clyde, and massive respect for him. Yes, I'm running for office, and so I'm going to burden you with a little bit of my candidacy speech. I was thinking back, though, in the scriptures I read, it does talk about when you get rid of a king and you go to this kind of a system, everybody takes a burden. So you take a burden to vet candidates, and I'm taking a burden to be out here doing this. I'm, by background, well, 7th generation Utah, and Utah County, 7th generation in Utah County, and lifelong Republican. I'm going to be on the Republican ballot that's coming out tomorrow. And the last day to vote is June 23rd, so this is right on us. And typically, whoever wins that Republican bid is going to be your county commissioner for this seat. I'm, again, an attorney by background, but was asked to be deputy mayor of Provo 8 years ago, and got to do some really fun things there. In addition to just running a city and helping with cutting $3 million from a budget so we wouldn't have to put a tax increase in the balanced budget, things like that. I was over departments, and I had to work with department directors. But then also occasionally get to do something a little more inspiring, a little more impactful. And that's what drives me to want to do this. I have a great job at the Attorney General's office right now that I'm putting at risk to do this, and would love to do it for 4 years, and we'll see what happens from there. But that's how committed my wife and I are to this kind of thing. We're willing to sacrifice because we believe in this kind of thing and are honored to have even a chance. Was asked to see if we could raise money for a Provo airport, new terminal. Didn't know the first thing about it, but went to work and got busy and went to different organizations in the county and the state. And lo and behold, we were able to get funding for that. If you haven't been out there to see it, I would invite you to. We now have American Airlines flying out. I think for raising quality of life and boosting the economy of this county, it's pretty hard to match what that was in the last decade or two for sure. So grateful that I had to be a part of that. And I want to give a shout out to Mayor Kafusi, who was phenomenal, and massive credit to her for all these things. But I was there able to work on the ground for those types of things. Have the support of lots of people in local government who've seen me take on tough responsibilities, helping lead a Utah County task force. That was a pretty tough task, but we worked with people, and people have come back. That's the nicest thing about this opportunity I've had, is people have come out and patted me on the back and said, you were honest and steady. We believe in you, and that's meant a lot. So I'm grateful to those who are supporting me. I'm probably up about my time, but my name again is Isaac Paxman. Would be honored to serve. I just want to end. This is an important one. We should be the most respected county, the most effective county organization in the state. And we should be the best place on the planet to live, not just as we heard this place always has been. 15, 25 years from now, we should be too. And that takes leadership, and that takes good judgment and good public service. And I believe I've been prepared for this, and I would be honored to serve. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I've had a chance to interact with Isaac, and he's well worth your consideration. And appreciate him coming and spending a few moments with us. So thank you, Isaac. Willis Jensen.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council, for all the work that you do to serve our community. My family and I are newer residents of Springville, and we are finding this a wonderful place to live. Before moving here, we lived for many years in northern Arizona. And one thing that surprised us after moving here to Utah was the amount of green grass throughout our cities, despite our desert climate and despite the limited snowfall that we received this past winter. I know the council recognizes the importance of water conservation as shown in the 2022 Water Conservation Plan, and the ordinance improved earlier this year to include water use and preservation plan as part of the city's general plan. Springville's done a good job in securing water resources for residents, but I believe more action is needed now to encourage conservation given the emergency drought conditions that we're under that was announced by Governor Cox just recently. Outdoor watering is the largest residential use of water, and I encourage the city to move beyond recommendations and begin implementing stronger conservation measures. Even simple limits on watering days and times to water help send a serious message and encourage long-term behavioral changes. I believe the expectation that every home should have a large green lawn needs to evolve. There are many beautiful, attractive landscaping options that use far less water than traditional lawns. Again, I would encourage the council to continue leading on this issue and to take additional action to make water conservation a higher priority for our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
James Ewing.
Try and make this as brief as possible. I probably read this thing 25 times today to time it. First off, we're here. There's a picture right there where I'm here to discuss my brother Michael Stanley Ewing. That's what this is about. I'm grateful for the opportunity to address the mayor and the city council tonight. The Ewing family is grateful to the Springville Police Department, the evidence and reporting staff, and the Springville City Attorney for everything that's been done to help us in the 11 months since Michael Stanley Ewing was found deceased on July 14, 2025. Case number 25SV04786 is still an open investigation as far as we've been told. We would like clarification on the current status. We have some concerns about how the investigation and other tragic events are handled in this city. It is in my brother's case, many things were investigated and placed into official reports, but many things haven't been investigated or reported accurately and completely. For example, there are discrepancies and errors in official reports and statement made to the Utah State Medical Examiner. We have continually requested that those errors be corrected and submitted so that the official record of someone we love is accurate. In speaking to them, they said that they are open to reevaluating the case if they receive new information from the Springville Police Department. At this time, we again are asking the Springville Police Department to make a formal additional report to the Utah State Medical Examiner, including but not limited to the following. Inform them that there was a body position discrepancy. Witness statements are available. They haven't been gathered. Inform them that neighbors reported to the police that there was a suspicious person attempting to flee the area before police arrived. Inform them that there were messages on Michael's phone that were threatening Michael's life the weeks before he died. Inform them that the police department went to the funeral home to take more pictures of the injuries to his body, give the medical examiner access to those photos. Refrain from asking the medical examiner's office, again, to state officially that the injuries were caused by a seizure. Report that the 2023 incident involved a large steak knife, not a pencil, as reported previously. Report that the 2023 incident now includes sworn statements questioning the incident was self-inflicted. The letter with departure verbiage was written 16 months before death. I'm willing to give the police the metadata to confirm if they're willing to forward that to the medical examiner, and they can come to our business to a location to obtain it. Correction that the last seen alive timeline discrepancy. Correction to the witness accounts of who were the last to see him alive. Delete the words possibly fentanyl from the report. Delete the claims made by Springville Police Department that he was an illicit drug user. We also feel that if previous Springville police investigations had been handled in a more thorough way, we might not have lost our son and our brother. Some of the cases we have concerns with are the following. Case number 23SV06365, August 23rd, 2023. This is a closed case with newly obtained witness information and evidence. Springville case 25SV06730, July 13, 2025. The family would like to know the status and disposition of the case. Because of these issues, along with many others, the Ewing family has been requesting an outside independent complete investigation into this case. There have been internal reviews and investigations with the Springville departments. We would like another agency to investigate not only what is in the official Springville record, but other issues that we feel never have been addressed or recorded. Our family's intentions have never been to take legal actions against Springville City. This is our home. We love Springville. We've had strong ties in this community over 70 years. Our ancestors before then were some of the original settlers in the community. We have had a business in Springville for over 42 years. Again, we're very grateful for what has been done. The Ewing family values our relationships with the city and many of its officials, like John. These are some of the reasons it's been such an emotional strain on each member of our family. We appreciate the opportunity to officially present this information. Thanks.
Thank you, James. Sharon?
No, I just helped him write that, so I was giving him my time.
Very good, very good. Very good.
Mayor, it may be good if we had a copy of that with the detail in it, if they can either leave a copy or send us a copy of those remarks.
Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, we'll send it to you.
Okay, sounds good. Jim Copeland.
Good evening, Mayor Packard and members of the City Council. My name is Jim Copeland, and I am the organizer of the Save Cherry Creek Coalition. I'm here tonight because the documented record now shows that the public timeline presented to this community does not align with the operational timeline already underway between Nebo School District and Springville City. The record reflects that in September 2025, Springville City officials and Nebo School District officials were already meeting and corresponding about the Cherry Creek Gym and property. Those communications involved the city attorney, the museum director, district legal counsel, and district operations staff. By September 23rd and 24th, 2025, the district had already initiated a formal appraisal process for the Cherry Creek Elementary, provided legal descriptions, maps, floor plans, and square footage, and selected a restricted appraisal report. On October 28th, 2025, that appraisal was completed and forwarded internally by district legal counsel. The valuation tied to this process was $10 million. Then, on March 11th, 2026, the public was told that this was the beginning of a preliminary closure study. Yet on March 12th, less than 24 hours later, Cherry Creek was formally declared surplus property and Springville City was notified, triggering the statutory 90-day first right of refusal. On March 17th, this council passed Resolution 2026-08, declaring the city's intent to purchase the property. At the same time, district records show that on March 13th, staff were already directed to begin running student redistribution scenarios that would split Cherry Creek students among Sage Creek, Brookside, and Art City. Taken together, these records raise a straightforward but serious concern. If the public process was only beginning in March, why were the property tract and the student redistribution tract already moving? For that reason, I placed the following questions before this council for the public record. When did Springville City first become aware that Cherry Creek Elementary was being considered not merely a gym issue, but as a potential full property transaction? If the district had already obtained a $10 million appraisal in October 2025, why was the public still being told in March 2026 that this was only the beginning of a neutral study? Why did this council move to position the city to purchase the property in March when the public process concerning closure was still being presented as open and unresolved? Will this council commit tonight that it will not take any irreversible action on this property until the public process is completed and the community has received full transparency regarding the timeline already documented in these records? This community deserves clear answers before any further action is taken. This is not simply a matter of property, it is a matter of whether this community was given a genuine and honest role in this process, or whether it was met with silence while key actions were already moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. I would just encourage you to spend some time with John Penrod and maybe answer some of your questions. So, to the Ewing family, let me just read a statement that I think I'd like to put in the record. And you know, John and I had a chance to meet with them, and I hope that they know of my love for them. And we are deeply, and this is from the whole city council. I've never done this before, so I hope that you feel this. We're deeply saddened by your loss. We cannot fully comprehend the anguish you have experienced, and we extend our sincere sympathy. Our police officers and city attorney have devoted significant time to reviewing this case, following leads, and evaluating all available evidence. In response to your concerns, the city took additional steps, engaging independent experts, including a forensic videographer and a pathologist, submitting the case to the Utah Attorney General's office, and retaining a respected outside private investigator to conduct an independent assessment. After a thorough review, all parties, the police department, medical examiner, independent pathologist, Attorney General's office, and private investigator, have reached the same conclusion. Michael Jr.'s death was a result of an overdose with no evidence of foul play. We recognize that you and your family may not agree with this conclusion, and we sincerely wish that there was more we could do to ease your loss. You are free to pursue additional independent review, and we remain committed to carefully and openly evaluating any new evidence that may come forth. So we just encourage you to, if there's new evidence, anything that we can do, get it to us. We're happy to go through these kinds of things. It's a very important part of this whole thing. But we do love you, and we just, we cannot feel your anguish, and we're so sorry for the whole thing. So I just wanted to put that for the record. So, okay, we'll finish that part of the meeting. We'll have the consent agenda that we'd like to be able to put forth. Any questions on the consent agenda? Okay, I entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda items.
Second.
Okay, a motion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed. Okay, Carla, you're up for a meeting.
Oh, hey, Mayor, could
Yes.
I just take a second as she comes up on the, before we take this issue?
Yeah, please.
I just wanted, there's a new state law in place, and I just wanted to highlight this with with the city council. There's a new state law that went into effect on May 6th, and as part of the ordinance that you're going to consider tonight, you will see a new statement in the whereas statements of the ordinance. And this is codified in Title 10, Chapter 3, Section 702.1 of the State Code. And it's entitled Family Impact Consideration Before Enacting Ordinance. And it's actually quite short, but there's really only a one-sentence obligation of the City Council that the governing body shall, before passing an ordinance, consider the impact the proposed ordinance may have on family health, stability, and formation. So this is on every ordinance considered in any city in the state. Importantly, failure to comply with this subsection does not invalidate the ordinance, and it does not create a cause of action against the municipality. So it's a very unusual and new thing that the state has done. There's no penalty or violation if you don't do it, but they're encouraging councils to consider impact on family with that. You'll be seeing in our future staff reports a small section on family impacts with the pluses and minuses of that and the whereas in the ordinance. You're not under any obligation to do more than consider it in your thought process, but if it raises questions that you want to discuss as a council, you're also, of course, welcome to do that. So thank you, Mayor.
Okay, Carla.
What is, that's, don't tell Stephen Boone that. I will, Josh, you want to, where's Josh? He's gone, okay. Can you come do this while I do this, so I can get this going? Okay, so before you tonight is zone map amendment application for LH Perry Investments. They currently own the property that probably the best way for you to know where it is it's right next to Buc-ee's on the west side of the freeway. Their parcel was a much larger parcel and was split in order to facilitate the Buc-ee's sale. At that time, there was the majority of the Buc-ee's parcel, or the parcel that became Buc-ee's, was zoned as regional commercial. When they divided it, the parcel lines did not follow the zoning lines. I can go from here. You're a doll. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And so it ended up with a small remnant piece on the map that you'll see here of regional commercial here. And this black outline follows the partial maps. This is where Buc-ee's will be going, and this is the parcel in question. Now no longer works. Okay. So they are planning to do tilt-up warehouse, office warehouse space, often called tilt-up construction. And in order to do that, they need to do it in the highway commercial zone. The regional commercial zone does not allow that. That is part of a zoning discussion that was held back in 1921. In 2021, the council considered the rezoning of a large portion of highway commercial throughout the city to rezone to regional commercial. This was spurred by the level of intensity of uses in the highway commercial zone, which includes some light industrial manufacturing uses. It was felt by the council at that time that those were not necessarily uses that we wanted along where they were in view from the freeway or along major corridors, as they tend to often be maybe kind of messier types of uses as far as the light industrial manufacturing processes go. So 82 parcels throughout the city at that time were rezoned to regional commercial from the highway commercial. Part of these were involved in that. The regional commercial was at one time highway commercial. When Buc-ee's came in and did the land deal with LH Perry and split that off, there was no need to rezone it for them because their use of a travel center is allowed in both the regional commercial and the highway commercial. As LH Perry is looking to develop this site now, their concern with the small portion that is regional commercial was that as they design their site and the configuration of their buildings, some of it will overlap into that regional commercial, and it would not be an allowed use in that zone. So even though it is a rather small portion, and at first they were not really concerned about it, as they developed their site, they were able to determine that it would probably be the best for them to rezone the entire parcel as highway commercial to avoid any problems with the use. It would also extend along this panhandle, which will end up being mostly road as it's developed as part of Buc-ee's development. So that is what we're looking at tonight. So there is a history of the rezoning from the regional commercial to the highway commercial that was of a concern to the council in 2021. And so we just want to make you aware of that as we're looking now to kind of do a rezone again.
Okay. Questions for Carla?
So we're just talking about rezoning this square piece with the panhandle, right?
Yes, and since the majority of it is highway commercial, it would just allow us to put the entirety of the parcel to highway commercial.
When you say the entirety of the parcel, are we talking about the square piece in the panhandle? Or
Yes,
are we gonna...
just the area that isn't within the black.
Okay.
Because you can see there's little portions of darker red that are the regional.
So I'm concerned a little bit about the look down there with allowing tilt-ups next to a place like Buc-ee's.
Yes.
be kind of a weird look. I mean, I'm not saying I'm opposed to this at all. I'm just concerned about what it looks like.
Valid. And I think that was the concern that accompanied the original rezone is the look of what some of the uses would allow in the highway commercial. They have not done any site application or anything. We have no, they have no design or site plan that has been approved. They just have their conceptual one. I was hoping I could find it, but I believe the mouse has died. And the
Can they do those tilt up so that the look is congruent with the Buc-ee's or whatever else goes in that regional commercial? Is there some way we can deal with that?
That would have to be done likely. I think this is probably more a question for Troy or John through a development agreement. There isn't any zoning standards right now that would allow us to do anything, but that wouldn't apply through everything else in the highway commercial zone. But I believe that as we've worked with the developer throughout this in this whole process, before we could even say it was Buc-ee's and it was just, Lord Voldemort that was coming to Springville, they've been really great to work with. And so I don't feel that they would be opposed to that, as I've had some just very brief conversations. They said they are always open to talking and working with the city. So
we had a business here on Main Street that was going to put up a commercial building that we worked with very well to get it to look the way that worked out well for both parties.
It did.
If we could work something out like that with what they want to do there, that's kind of the direction I'd like to see us go, if that's possible to do. Can we do that, John?
Yeah, this is beyond my scope now. I'll let John to address that.
Yeah, you can. You could do something like that, but they've got to be willing. Right now, I'm looking at this. It looks like to me, all but a very small part of this is already highway commercial. So I'm understand. If they're wanting to do what has been described, I think they could already do it.
Yes,
so
they would just have to reconfigure their site plan, which they may do if the council chooses not to approve the rezone, then they would simply just have to reconfigure how they did their site.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think that's the spirit of, because Mike and I were on the council when that 2021.
Exactly, yes.
So I don't want. I've known Perry's for decades, and they're just really top-notch, top-drawer people.
Yeah.
They really, really are, and they want as good a quality project as anybody that I know. And I think the idea of kind of what we're trying to do is say, I don't think the city's opposed to this, but obviously 2021, we didn't have any idea that Buc-ee's was going to go down there.
Very true.
And we just want to make sure that something that looks good. And I can't imagine Perry wanting anything different than that. And I'm not trying to stand in the way as much as just making the look and the feel consistent all the way down through there. That's my only thought with it, and maybe that's what Mike's trying to say.
Yeah, so this little grayish corner in highway commercial, is that the only piece we're talking about that's not highway commercial?
Yes, that and the actual handle, which, like I said, will end up being mostly road.
Yeah, the handle thing that's going to be a road anyway. But
yes.
Can I ask maybe a dumb question? You said you want this to kind of like match or not be incongruent with the look and the feel of Buc-ee's. I didn't get to go out and tour the Buc-ee's, but like in my mind, Buc-ee's, it's a giant gas station. I'm sure they have nice buildings, but like what kind of look and feel are we talking about?
It's a pretty nice looking gas station.
Okay.
And just
Little America than to Chevron.
Beaver statues.
Yeah, all kinds of cutesy little stuff.
Well, and I think the other idea is that, across the way, the developer's talking about some larger developments, much more retail kind of a thing. And again, I'm not saying that we're trying to stand in the way. We're actually just trying to make sure that the look and the feel down there is pretty consistent. Somebody doesn't drive in there and go, how'd that get there? Or, boy, that looks odd.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I honestly can't think Perry would be opposed to that conversation. So
I can't either. I just don't know if in the process of a rezone in the ordinance how we would.
We just put in a development agreement.
Yeah, I think part of what you
development.
could do, though, is first off, if you have a good developer, usually the product ends up well, as the mayor's pointed out. The other thing with it is you can always have the discussion. I mean, there might not be something right now in the ordinance that requires, all red brick or whatever you're looking for, but it is something where if they bring something, you can have that discussion and try to work through it with them. And I think Josh has done a good job. He did a good job here on Main Street, I think, and I think it's something that could be done. But right now, even if the council decides not to pass this, they could still bring
still
that
put it
prop.
up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I guess what I'm just saying is I think they'd want to have a discussion. I'd welcome it. So,
Yeah.
but I don't want them to get the idea we're trying to stand in the way of it. So,
Yeah.
No, I'm sure.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
I think I may be less worried about how it maybe blends in with a Buc-ee's, and maybe more worried about how it blends in with like the restored Hubble Creek Delta that's right there. And if there's anything we can do, like if we kind of grant them a little bit more highway commercial space, maybe that makes it easier for them to do things that maybe mitigate some of the impacts to wildlife that live there.
Jake, Karen, thoughts?
What's the timeline on the two projects as far as who's starting first? Are they overlapping?
You know what? That's a really good question. Buc-ee's is moving through the process, but they have a lot of offsites that they've got to do so they've already started on their process, but they're working on the offsites. As far as what the timeline is for Perry, they haven't disclosed that. I can certainly check with them and report back to the council. But right now we have an application from Buc-ee's. We do not have one from Perry's.
Do we have the applicant here? Do you know?
Yeah. Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Let me just, Carla, if I could, let me just make one thing clear. I don't expect their building to look like a Buc-ee's store. I don't know if I did.
Don't want a giant beef
I
wrapper.
just, yeah, I'm not.
Sorry
I'm
for
not asking
muddying
them to
those
make it
waters.
look like a Buc-ee's store. It's just, I would prefer to have some sort of continuity in the area.
Yes.
Whatever that means, that can be discussed. I just don't want a flat-faced cement tilt up.
Understood. They are here if the council's discretion if they
You want to come up and address or help us with it a little bit, or didn't mean to put you on the spot. I'm sure you'd have worn a tie if you'd have known you were going to be in front of everybody.
His sunglasses count as a tie.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Hide those. Yeah, good evening. My name's Jake Finlinson with Perry. Okay, I won't belabor you with the pitch since Carla did a great job explaining what the ask is. It's really just to true up parcel lines with the zoning map. Just to address some of the initial comments and questions I've heard. So as far as the design of the building, originally we were just planning on making that consistent with the highway commercial design standards. Now it's not in our best interest to have a ugly project, but there is certain constraints that we have to put on ourselves as well to stay competitive with other projects in the area, as well as just to make sure it's as affordable as possible for the tenants that will be housed there. As far as just a flat elevation, there's things we can do with undulations in the building, color treatments, accents of entryways, glazing as well. So those are certainly things that we are already planning on doing to try to make this as inviting as possible. As far as timing is concerned, we are waiting for Buc-ee's at this point. So we're going to kind of tail them a little bit. So we should probably, I would imagine we'll probably have a site plan application in the next 8 months. But as far as commencing construction, we will wait until they've done so with the utility work and offsite work that they have to do. We need to make sure that that's kind of in place before we can do anything on the site.
Would you be open to a discussion before we vote on this, so we kind of know what you're proposing and the look and the feel, not in an adversarial or a kind of a, if you don't do this, we won't do that, that sort of a thing. It's just if we know what you're thinking about and looking at and visualize that sort of thing, that would, I think, help
Yeah,
At least some of us. What are your thoughts?
I think we would. The only issue is we don't really fully, we don't have a specific elevation design of the project yet. It would mirror that of other kind of flex industrial projects where, the construction type still is concrete tilt up, right? There's not really a way around that, but there are ways that you can create kind of those nice design elements, as nice as a flex space can look while still being competitive. So I think we'd be open to it. We just aren't really at a position that we have anything concrete, if that makes sense.
If I can speak for you, I think what you're talking about is like, that means maybe this is the perfect time to start having that particular discussion before you're too far, before anything's really baked.
Yeah,
Is that-
I don't, maybe I'm speaking for the council and I shouldn't, but I don't know that we're deeply opposed to this. We're just kind of wanting to know, at least I do. Others want to kind of just
Yeah, I'm
see
not
what
opposed to it
you've
at all.
got to be able to understand what it is. And if it takes, a few weeks or whatever, we're happy to do that. And again, it's not a matter of, we just want to visualize that sort of thing and really work with you on it. So
I guess my question would be, what design requirements would you be looking for, just so we can come best foot forward?
Well, I would,
First discussion.
and again, I'm just speaking out, I would just present what you have or your thoughts about what it is. And then, I'm happy to meet, or Troy is happy to meet with you, or Josh, and that sort of thing, and just have that discussion with it and say, okay, that's great, good, go ahead and run with that, as opposed to, is there can we look at this or can we look at that sort of a thing? So
You obviously have projects like this you've done before. If you can just show us a sample, even that, at least that'd give us an idea of,
Yeah, there you go.
of where you're going.
Yeah,
And maybe some proposals for ways that you could adjust those projects in order to be able to add some design elements, and what those design elements might include to kind of meet the goals that we have while staying within the scope and budget that you have.
Okay.
Yeah, just one thing to keep in mind here too, though. I mean, I like the idea of kind of seeing other projects, that sort of thing, but nothing say to here. I mean, once you change the zoning, or even if you don't change the zoning, they might still not be doing the project. Right now, they're planning to do it, but they might sell. There might be all kinds of different things that happen, and so I think it's great to kind of see, hey, what are we looking at if we do change this little tiny bit of the zoning? But also, too, I think you got to keep in mind that the ultimate or the end result will not be exactly what you're seeing. I mean, there's a percentage that wouldn't be that way. So I just want to make sure everybody's clear on that.
yeah, we've experienced that. Nothing against you, but we've had some bad experience with that. So then we're just cautiously working through it. So
No, totally understand. I think from our perspective, we would probably try to avoid doing a full-on development agreement, just because it's, quite expensive to draft up legal fees and lock ourselves into something that, like the attorney said, we might not build. So I think our preference would be to avoid a full-on development agreement. But that being said, we're still open to having transparent conversations with what our plans are.
well, I think at the end result, we're both trying to do the same thing. So I think the process and how we do it. So I think we just do this, table it, or how do you do this?
Well,
or
we can just continue it to the
continue
next
it.
meeting if you want, or a meeting in the future. And then what we could do is Josh and, I apologize, and Jake could get together, and we could come back with some projects they've done, so you can see, hey, this is what you could expect on the other side of Bucky's type thing.
Yeah, I don't want to see them put a lot of money and effort into this, but if you've got something already, you can show Josh that he can bring to us. That's all I really
And just do it in a work session, that sort of a thing. So
Okay.
okay, very good. Are you okay with that? Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Give us your contact information. That'd be all right. Okay, very good. Okay, we've got a Laura Thompson.
Before we do that,
Oh, yeah.
you can do a motion to continue?
Oh, sorry.
No,
Yes,
it's
I-
fine.
I need a motion to continue.
I motion that we continue item number 5 to a future meeting.
Okay.
second.
Is that a roll call vote?
No.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, number 6, Laura. I don't see Laura here. Josh, is that you?
In line with Troy's previous comments about the new state law requiring the city council to make a statement or to evaluate the proposed impacts of the ordinance on family health, stability, and formation, I have an updated ordinance that includes a provision to that I'll hand out before we can before we move forward on this. For some reason, I can't get. Yeah, the mouse isn't working. Okay, then I will see if I can be like one of those people in the crime movies that work they press lots of keyboard things and stuff happens. There we go. We don't need a map. I mean, we don't need a mouse.
He's in.
Never mind. We may need a mouse. I intended. I intended to just bring up the map. I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure why.
Can you hook them to
This isn't. I'm not able to make this work. Will you go get me some batteries? Thank you. The item you had for under consideration tonight is to amend the official zoning map from R110 single-family residential zone to the R115 single-family residential zone for the parcel that encompasses the majority of the Condi farm in between 1200 West and 950 West, north of 500 North in the West Fields. And this, thank you. Yep, you're there. Or 250 North, sorry, to 550 North. So it's actually this parcel down here, which is lot 96, or parcel ID 2303200096. The Condis intend to build a agricultural structure, a barn, essentially, out on this side of the southwestern corner of the parcel to accommodate storage of all the farm equipment that they have relocated from this parcel to the east, where homes are now under construction. In the R110 zone, agricultural buildings are not permitted, and accessory buildings are only permitted when there's a primary building on the property. So to have a shed or a shed or a shop type building on a property, you have to have a primary building, which would be a home. But in the R115 zone, agricultural structures are permitted as a permitted use without any other primary structures on the property, no house needed. So in order to most easily accommodate the Condi's plans to build an agricultural building on this corner without reconfiguring lot lines and trying to get one of these houses on this lot, they applied to change the zone from the R110 to the R115. It changes none of the development characteristics of the site, except for allowing a slightly larger accessory building and allowing these farm structures as accessory buildings, which wouldn't, or as primary buildings, which isn't allowed in the R110. This was heard by the Planning Commission, and on May 12th, where they held a public hearing, and it comes to you with a unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission. And I have this updated ordinance here I'll pass out as you discuss. That's my presentation.
Okay, does everybody understand kind of what you're looking at? Questions for Josh?
I have a question. So at least the other parcels on the property are used agriculturally. Are they in an agricultural zone, or are they also in a residential zone?
They're all in a residential zone.
Okay, so if we have an agricultural use already there, would that not grandfather in all agricultural uses such as building agricultural buildings?
No. just because they have a non-conforming agricultural use, which actually is not non-conforming. You can have agricultural uses in not livestock and those type of uses, but you could essentially have a cultivated field in an R110 zone. What you can't have is those agricultural structures. So the current use of the zone doesn't extend non-conforming rights to new or additional structures or changes to that site. So no, they need to make that change in order to build an agricultural structure. The nonconformity of uses and the nonconformity of structures or sites are all three different types of nonconformities and don't grant nonconforming rights to the others by default. If you have a nonconforming building, it doesn't mean you can have a nonconforming use. Those are all established separately.
Are we just changing this kind of weird shaped
Yes.
parcel on the back of this map,
That's
or the
correct.
entire
No.
field?
Just this piece.
And the rest of it stays R110?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, other questions for Josh?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2020-2026 zone map amendment for parcel 23-032-0096, changing its zone from the R110 residential single-family zone to the R115 residential single-family zone.
I will second that.
It's a roll call vote. Jake?
Yes.
Logan?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Josh. Okay, I think that's all that's on the agenda. Anything needs to be brought up? Council? Staff? Okay, I'll entertain a motion then for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Let's start working.